Tim TSZYU's next fight is set. On June 18, he'll fight on Main Event and here on the Gold Coast against the #1 Mexican fighter in the division, Carlo Ocampo. Tim, you've always wanted to fight against a Mexican opponent, test yourself against a Mexican. Why is that?
I think growing up, watching the Mexican rivalries, watching my dad fight all the Mexican beasts, it's always been a dream of mine to test myself against a style like this. You know, so it's a big opportunity for me because to gain respect from the Mexican audience. You know, and I remember training in America, and when you're training in America with the Mexicans, you gain their respect by your actions. They're not the people that are into the talking, and they're just pure boxing lovers, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Watching Ocampo fight, he's got that traditional Mexican style. He punches well to the body. He's extremely tough. What do you have to do differently in a fight like this to what you've done before?
I think this is the first fight that I'm not going to have an opponent that's running around the ring, you know, so it's going to be a tremendous task, in all honesty. I think this fight is going to be much harder than what I'm used to. The toughness of these Mexicans and of Ocampo, it's going to present a tremendous task.
And do you do anything differently style-wise in the ring? Do you want to engage with him more and prove yourself more, or do you just do what Tim TSZYU's been doing successfully?
I don't know. We'll see on the night. See on the night how I feel like. If I have to go into dog mode and turn into beast mode, then so I should. But boxing is all about the smarts, you know. And I intend to be 10 steps ahead.
But you might show us a bit of Mexican style of your own.
If I have to, man. No, that's actually, you know what? I think I will. I think I will. Because in my head, I feel like I've got this Mexican style as well. That, you know, I'm in there. I can trade punches. I can go to the body. Just a bit more intelligent.
There's something different about you, Tim. We've talked about it in the lead up to the Tony Harrison fight, but it seems that you've turned a corner in your career. What's going on in your life and your boxing?
Oh, you know what? I think I've just gone all in. Before, I don't know, I guess there was distractions in life. You're all in, of course, but I think I went from feeling different and approaching life differently, and now it's just all I got in this sport is boxing. In life, all I got is boxing. So, of course, family and your loved ones, of course, but boxing is #1 at the moment.
And is there something about belts like this one and those that are ahead of you that has done that to you, do you think? Is it being so close to the glory?
Yeah, you know what? This is all external factors that play in a part of your journey. For me, it's the growth as a human being and as an athlete. And I'm proud of what I've become already, because what I've become now is I know that I'm going to have 4 of these, and that's allowed me to become the person that I am today.
Let's talk about that Tony Harrison fight, because globally it was a fight that made a lot of people take notice, and I think there was a big part of that for you as well in the lead up. You wanted America to see that you're the real deal. Is that what you did?
I think the my post-fight speech said it all. What's my motherfucking name?
Now, Tim, there are lots of Americans watching. One of them is named Charlo. Do you have a message for him?
The message was sent clearly. You know what's up. You know what's next. I'm coming. I'm coming to America.
Any final words to everyone who's come out here today and who's watching around the world?
Australia, you know, but the world, you know now. What's my motherfucking name? Say my motherfucking name! I let everyone know exactly that, you know, this is me, you know. Remember the name, because this is me, and I'm the one that's competing in this journey, and I'm the one that's punching heads in, and Tony Harrison is no bum, and everyone knows that, and his accolades are written in the history books. But for me, that was one of my easiest fights.
You could have told me what was going to happen in the ring afterwards before you launched into your tirade, but what was that about? What was the thinking there? And was that something you'd planned?
No, it wasn't. I think it was pure emotion, and and I was just sick and tired of people, just not people, but opponents, and given that feeling and that aura that you're only in this because of your dad, and it was like a middle finger moment, stick it up to you.
And do you think that's all gone now? Are people still going to say you're just your dad's son, or has that been erased?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I'm gonna cop him my whole life, in all honesty. I don't know, but I just have to keep doing what I'm doing, keep proving people wrong, collecting these belts, keep bettering myself, keep becoming a better fighter, and just keep working on my craft.
Visualize, I want you to just sleep about me, dream about me, and see this body be like, ooh, I want to hit that spot right there, hit that.
He was great entertainment, Tony Harrison,
Yeah.
for us in the lead up. How did you find that whole process, the face-offs, the press conferences, and just listening to him entertaining and really promoting the fight?
You know what? I enjoyed the moment. I didn't feel pressure. I felt this. Felt confident, but when he was talking, I was like, man, this guy. All right, some of the stuff he said, I was like, I'll give it to you. It's true, my resume is not as good as yours, and this and that, but I'm working towards it, and I enjoyed the whole process, the whole night. I was able to be myself. I was able to come out to whatever music I wanted to. I picked my own outfit, and I felt like I could be TIM TSZYU, and that was a part of my my post-fight conference, was that this is me. This is who I am.
Did he upset you into the brutality that we saw you produce in the ring? Was a part of it trying to get back at some of the stuff he'd said?
Nah, nothing. I really don't take nothing personal. I know this boxing, this sport, everyone's gonna have to talk it up. But I knew when I looked at him dead center in the eye, and where his eyes were twitching, and I felt that I had him. The first time ever, he thought nothing of me, and I could see it in his eyes that he thought nothing of me. So he had this confidence, but it was a different confidence than what I had. I knew what I was going to do to him. I knew it.
When was that? At the weigh-in, or
no? At the first time we saw each other at the premiere.
The movie premiere for Creed.
And at the weigh-in, I was like, at the weigh-in, I knew 1,000% what was going to happen.
So
and I actually predicted it. Round 9.
You did.
I said it in the camera. I said, round 9, I'll get him.
Well, we're going to ask you again for Carlos Ocampo, because now you're on fire. You've got to start getting this right and keep getting him right. But that's interesting that at that movie premiere, which was such a frivolous event, just a few people watching a film, and he tried to embrace you, and you sort of pushed him away.
Nah.
There was a lot to read into all that, and it did mean something by the sounds of it.
Yeah. I wasn't here to muck around. I wasn't there to muck around, I obviously respect my opponent at all times, shake hands, whatever, but there's no love. There's no love at all before the fight for me. We're not friends at the moment. We're enemies, because you're trying to take my food off the plate and everything that I've worked for. So, and I had so much on the line. I had the Charlo belt there. All I can do is wait. That's all I have to do to be able to fight for all 4 prestigious belts, which not many people ever get the opportunity to do. I had that on the line, and but yeah, it was a little bit of a sense of satisfaction that I got the job done, but I wasn't satisfied.
Great atmosphere that day to be in that room with that event. What are your memories of the event itself? And did you give yourself a chance to enjoy the moment, or was it just when the confetti came down that you sort of snapped out of fight mode?
I wasn't nervous at all. I embraced every single moment. I enjoyed the whole build-up. I enjoyed coming into the fight. It was like the stars aligned. As soon as I came into the venue, Nikita comes and finishes his fight. It was like, I was like, wow, how good is this? Nikita just won. I didn't even know the result, you know. Nikita just won. He's got this shiner. I walk in. Usually, I feel different. I don't know what it was. I felt this confidence, and usually I'm in the dressing room 2 hours earlier or 3 hours earlier, just like overthinking things. And this time I came in, didn't take much to warm up, just sat down, started stretching up a little bit, hands started wrapping up straight away, and then we're on the ring. And then I was home in the next couple of hours. It was like a 6-hour job, and got it all done in that 6 hours.
And a daytime fight as well. Maybe you prefer that.
Man, it was just everything just went so quick. Yeah, so quick, and I was able to come back and have some dinner, and then go back home and then just relax the night with the missus.
It was a brilliant performance, and obviously everyone in global boxing around your weight division was watching. Jamel Charlo was one of those.
Yeah.
The plan was, and of course, you were meant to move straight into the fight against Charlo for all of the belts next. What do you think has gone on? Why is that not the fight that is happening now?
Look, I don't know much about his injury. All I remember was the stuttering after the fight.
Man, I'm ready. You know, when I get my hand right and we get back in the ring for some more training, put him back in. That's that work.
I think he needs time. He needs time to let his hand heal 100%. He needs a full training camp, and let him have that. Don't let him rush into it. I want no excuses. That's why I'm taking this fight. Let him take his time. Get the job done. Not underestimating, of course, Ocampo. Get the job done. Just the way I thought about Harrison, and we'll do it at the end of the year.
Charlo's a world-class fighter, of course, but do you think there's any truth to some people's theory that he saw your fight against Tony Harrison and said, I need a bit more time to get ready for this guy. I wasn't taking my preparation as seriously as what I need to.
For sure. Took him, 23 rounds to do what I did in 9. And in all honesty, it was no disrespect to Tony Harrison, but for me it was a walk in the park. I wasn't sore the day after. I was off on a holiday straight away after, just to relax a little. Yeah, people underestimate my boxing abilities and my skills. They think I'm just this walk forward fighter, but that's not true. That's not true.
Did you see anything different out of TIM TSZYU than what you were training for?
No, that's exactly what we've seen. Come forward, not as fast and bigger pace. Strong, of course, throw hard punches. Don't we all?
Do you have anything left to prove to Charlo? Because I think there was a bit of that in the ring and a bit of that in the performance, but is that all done? Do you just
prove to Charlo?
To show Charlo and those around him?
Oh no, man! I'm gonna hit him that hard that he'll recognise straight away who he's in with.
What about your dad? What did he think about the Tony Harrison performance? Because he's a very hard marker, like you are yourself.
Yeah. He was actually very happy and proud.
Wow.
Yeah, very happy and proud. I think it was one of his happiest, proudest moments, I guess.
Does that surprise you?
He was critical, but he was critical.
What did he say?
Yeah, he's like, man, should have done this, should have done that. I was like, thanks, Dad.
What? Getting hit with a few jabs, or?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't ask him in details. I was like, oh, whatever. But that's just the way he is. That's just always been him, and that's what I had to live with.
I know you haven't spoken to him yet about Carlos Ocampo, but his record against Mexicans means that he is someone you should talk to probably in the lead up to this fight. He fought 5 of them, including the greatest of them all, Julio Cesar Chavez. He had his greatest performance, as he sees it, against the Mexican.
Gonzalez.
He won all of his fights against Mexicans. There's a bit to live up to for you against Mexican opponents.
For sure, the pressure's on. The pressure's on. Yeah, let's make it 6-0. 6-0 with the Mexicans in the zoo in the family name.
What do you remember of that Chavez fight and the Gonzalez fight? I know you go back and watch the fights. What were you impressed by that your dad was able to do against that style?
He wasn't getting hit much. And I remember, again, me and Dad were both sort of walk forward type pressure fighters. But with the Chavez fight, my dad was on the back foot, you know, and you don't usually see that. No one's been able to put me on the back foot in 22 fights. So we'll see if the first Mexican can, the best Mexican in the division can.
Back to Ocampo, he is a very tough fighter. He has been hurt to the body, and he has hurt fighters to the body. That's what he wants to engage in, it would appear. Is your body punching important in a fight like this?
Yeah, body punching will be important, but you know what? When you get to a distance when you can't hit to the body, you can also get hit yourself. And there's nothing worse than getting hit with a nice clean body shot. So, you know, I have to think about it and be wary of myself to not be hit with any of his shots.
What would be an acceptable performance for you against Ocampo? Is this an opponent that you feel you need to stop in a fight like this, or is winning enough at this point?
Oh look, a win's a win. It really doesn't matter how you do it, but if you do it in fashion, it's always nicer. A highlight reel is always nice on the videos.
Have you watched the Harrison highlight reel moment back a few times?
Yeah, I think the uppercuts. I was waiting for him to get up, and then I was thinking, after the fight when I watched it, I was like, oh man.
Harrison's in trouble. Tszyu looks for the finish. Tony Harrison on unsteady legs.
So is Tim Tszyu, the poor man. He can't stand up because the canvas.
Here goes Tszyu, pressing forward with all the time that he needs to finish off the American. He's pouring in shots. Harrison goes down. Harrison goes down off a barrage. He gets to his feet, but for how long? He's on very unsteady legs. It stopped, and it's real. It is all real. The doubters have been destroyed. This is truly the TIM TSZYU show.
It should have been stopped way earlier. I was keeping him up with those uppercuts. He was supposed to go down, but I was lifting him off his feet with those uppercuts. So, yeah, it was. I've watched it a fair few times.
And do you have anything in your mind that you can picture in a fight like this against Ocampo?
I've got certain shots that I've already manifested.
You don't want to tell me what they are?
In a couple of weeks, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks?
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait for that. Lovely here on the Gold Coast. Beautiful part of the world, and it must be exciting for you to be bringing the Tszyu show up here for everyone to see.
We promised that. We promised that we had a fight here, but it was postponed. So we promised that this is it's my second home here in Australia. In all honesty, we were here down for the Jeff Horn fight 2 months, and yeah, the people really get along with sports, and it's a real, I don't know, it feels like a Vegas type vibe for Australia, and it's always a good feeling coming here.
And exciting as well that the US will be watching and the world will be watching again. Do you allow yourself to think about that fact that the whole boxing world does tune in now?
Everyone wants to see. It's weird. I feel like I'm a normal person, but yeah, everyone gets quite excited when I fight now. So it's a good feeling, you know. 5 years ago, I was dreaming about these moments, and now it's happening. So I'm a fighter at heart. I entertain the fans. I give them good fights, and this is why people come back and watch.
And are you convinced that if you get past Carlos Ocampo that Charlo's going to fight you? Or do you think he's...
He's not going to vacate, right? I don't know. If he vacates, I'll go up to middleweight and chase him.
Is that the plan?
You know what? Belts are great. They're beautiful to look at and all of that, but I think it's the people you fight on your journey. You know, this Carlos Ocampo, #1 Mexican in my division. I don't have to fight him, but it's the whole process of this journey. You know, I didn't have to fight Tony Harrison either. You know, but again, people become interested, and it's funny with boxing. In most sports don't have the same effect, but when there's a big fight on, the whole world stops and just stops what they're doing and just watches the fight. And that's what I get here in Australia. So if I can bring these big fights here, that's what I intend to do.
A lot of people were saying in the lead up to the Harrison fight, particularly from America, don't do this.
Yeah.
You shouldn't take this risk. It's all waiting for you. The undisputed titles with Charlo, just sit there and wait. Is anyone still saying that, or do they appreciate what you're doing now?
I think the respect is gained by doing the unthinkable. You know, there's no sitting around and waiting around. There's growth in this sport, and I'm growing as a fighter, as a person, and I feel like I am the best super welterweight on the planet right now. It's just patience and time will only tell.
Now, you had a pretty clear message for people in the ring after that Tony Harrison fight. Do you have a message for anyone at the end of this interview? Is there anything else that you want to say to people?
I got to collect all these. I got to collect all these, and then that's when the real fun begins. After that.
Well, it's exciting, Tim. Can't wait for this fight. Here on the Gold Coast, live on Main Event, it's going to be something special.
Yeah, it will be.
That is Tim TSZYU. You'll see him in action. His next fight against Carlos Ocampo. It is on June 18, live on Main Event. I'm Ben Damon. I'll see you at the fights.